Hey, I had an absolutely spectacular, remarkable, unbelievable dream partial astral experience last night. Um, and there was some similarities to the dream I had about snakes a couple of days ago in that regard, regarding like the colors. There's a lot of white color. Other than that, there weren't really any similarities, but let me just get into it. So, basically, I was in a location. I was kind of standing like on a grassy knoll, and I was looking at these two buildings. The building on the left was white, beautiful, stunning, had this incredible, had these incredible carvings and these like marble statues, and it was absolutely beautiful. It was like a two-story building. It resembled a church. I couldn't tell 100% if it was a church or not, but it was very bright, very beautiful, very temple-like home. And then I looked to the right, and I saw what also a two-story building that was like the exact opposite. So I would look at it, and it was completely painted black, and it looked like a medieval castle. There was this like sort of trench in front of it with water filled like a pond, like you would see. You know how the bridges, they would place bridges over these canals before they would enter the castle. It kind of looked like that, and instead of the statues being beautiful marble, there were ugly, grotesque gargoyle-like creatures that were, and it was very just a dark building. And it wasn't just like what I was looking at, it was what I was feeling. I was feeling this really dark energy coming from the building, and I was feeling this very light energy coming from the other building. And I kept kind of looking back and forth, and I kept getting pulled toward the dark building because I was just so interested in it. I was so curious. I needed to know why this building was so dark. What happened here? Did something happen? And that's when it went from being a dream to, I would call it an out of body experience, because I started to have like literally a narration take place in my mind in the dream, a narration and visuals, actual visions inside the dream of what took place in this castle. And that's when things got really strange. So I started seeing this, and this voice started popping up in my head telling me that there's this rituals that used to take place in this building in which they would take mothers who were giving birth, essentially, and right like before the baby is ready to be born, maybe a few hours prior, like right at the cusp of birth, they would take a knife and stab the stomach and slice open the stomach and violently rip out the baby from her, ritualistically killing the mother. And while this voice was telling me this story in my head, I was actually literally seeing it, the vision of this taking place, and it was absolutely horrifying. And then the narration continued telling me that one day there was a baby that they extracted that was so dark and so evil that these, by the way, so what was taking place was the people doing this, I mean, they literally looked like what you would picture a Satanist. They were wearing these black robes and kind of masks, like kind of like Eyes Wide Shut type of a deal, when they would take a knife and they would stab it and extract the baby. It literally looked like something from Eyes Wide Shut. And so they said that one of these rituals didn't go well for them, The baby born was so dark and so evil that it was so malevolent that it kind of made everyone in this house go mad, and they fled, and so it's abandoned. Except it wasn't, because I started to see people going towards the house, and I became drawn even more to it, and I started walking in that, like, kind of floating in that direction, really. And they said that the narration said that people still come here on occasion to perform mock rituals or whatever. And so I floated over there, and I see these two Asian men. And they were aware of me, and they were very angry that I was there. And they started pushing me away, like they were also wearing some kind of suit. They weren't wearing a robe. They were wearing this black and red suits. And they were also like preparing for something. So I went over there, and they literally like pushed me away. So I went back onto the grassy lawn area. So after that, I kind of understood the house, understood what happened, and I started seeing a sunrise behind me, behind the two houses. I started seeing this beautiful sunrise, and the sun, it shone this like glorious golden light on both of these buildings. And I would turn around, and I saw a bunch of people behind me all over the place, and I started sensing this deep sense of peace. And I would start like kind of walking towards the sun, towards the sunrise, and I see this dog, and I kept looking at the dog, and I kept looking at the sun over and over again. And only after I woke up did I understand what I personally feel that meant was that from now until August 11th, the dog star Sirius and our sun are conjunct. So whatever that means, it was implying that a ritual was taking place, or it will take place before August 11th, because Sirius, the dog star, and the sun are conjunct. I don't understand what other reason why I would look at this dog numerous times and then look at the sun, but I would several times, and then I would keep walking towards the sunrise. And as I kept walking towards the sunrise, I literally felt like I just was in my room again, and I just kind of gently glided back into my body. Again, why I can't say this was a 100% astral experience like I've had before was because I wasn't 100% lucid and aware. I know that it was not just a dream, however, because you don't receive narrations and stories that you remember in a regular dream. And I did feel like I was partially out of body. I did feel like a portion of my consciousness was not in my body, like this was actually taking place more than just a dream level. It was really profound, though, so I don't know what to conclude from it. Am I hopefully driven away from the dark house and the dark rituals? And hopefully am I being drawn towards the light, towards the golden light? Hopefully this is symbolic of the entire world being drawn away from the dark rituals and brought into the light, is what I'm hoping for. So that's it. Hopefully somebody sees this. Thank you. Bye.